after throwing so much at you, I thought maybe I'd give you kind of an easier lesson to follow along with here. All we'll do here is I'll show you a couple of extra neat little tricks just for adjusting some of the values and some of the properties that we've already been working with a little bit here, just to show you again kind of what's possible. The first thing that I'm going to do, though, by the way, again, just to kind of clean things up, is I'm going to get rid of the paragraph that resides inside my blue div. That's a pretty easy task, so I'm just going to flip over to my code, and I'm going to look for my blue div. There he is, and I'm simply going to grab that paragraph element and toast it just like that. Okay, what are some things that we can do with these two divs, the blue div residing inside the red div? Well, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the size of the blue div. He's too large to fit inside the red div, so he's overlapping, or he's kind of spilling outside of the red div. So what I could do is I could head back to my code here, and then, of course, look for the blue div, and then change my width and height properties. This is easy stuff, right? So maybe this is going to be like an icon or something like that, or a tiny button. So I'll crank this all the way down to just 50 pixels for the width and the height and refresh. There we go. So now our blue div is much smaller. Again, it could be an icon or some kind of a navigation link, or you could set this to whatever size your design calls for, right? Now, what about actually moving the two around together? Well, wherever the red div now goes, the blue div is going to go with it. Think of the blue div as a room inside the red house. So wherever the house moves to, maybe think of it as a camper trailer with a bedroom inside it. Wherever the camper trailer goes, the blue room is going to go with it. Okay, so for instance, back inside my code here, I could look for my red div, and then I could simply change my positioning values here. So for instance, maybe I want this guy tucked way up in the extreme top left corner. So what I could do is I could change top to 0 pixels, and I could do the same for left. Change that to 0 pixels as well, save up my file, refresh the browser, and now the red div, my camper trailer, is parked way up in the top left corner. And of course, the blue div goes with it. And the blue div maintains its position, its location within the red div because it's nested inside it, right? Or what I could do, I could head back to my code here, and maybe I decide I want to do something like this. Instead of positioning him from the top and from the left, maybe I want to position him from the top and from the right. Flip back over, refresh. Now he's parked way over in the top right corner. Now, as far as positioning the blue div, the blue object inside the red div, same story. I can come in here and I can say, all right, from the top, it's going to be 10 pixels. From the left, it's going to be 10 pixels. Or I could say, you know what? Let's position this guy off of the right by 10 pixels. And of course, that gives me this result. Okay, so the div simply moves to adjust and accommodate the changes that I've made. Or maybe I decide I want to go from the bottom instead of the top. Okay, so bottom 10 pixels, right 10 pixels. Save this guy up, and my blue div should show up way down in the bottom right corner when I refresh. There he is. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Wherever the parent element goes, the red div, any nested elements, including divs, are going to go with it. And I can always change where I'm setting the positioning properties from. Again, there's 4 of them: top, left, bottom, and right.